In today's video, guys, we're going to be taking a look at this Realtoy Space Mission NASA theme-inspired playset. And this is actually very cool, guys. I love space toys. This one especially. I saw this when I was a kid a long time ago, but never had the chance to pick the set up. And then now finally, I saw this on my local carousel, which is an online flea market site here in Malaysia, and I decided why not? And it's for a good price. I picked it up so I can do a video for you guys right here on the channel. And this is actually pretty cool since this is a Realtoy / Daron inspired set, which back in the days, this was a Realtoy set. And nowadays, I think Daron has already bought the Realtoy brand and all of its airplanes, including the space toys, and they decided to put it all in one brand. And they repackaged it in a much nicer packaging. And I believe the packaging has a NASA worm logo on it, and it's got a very nice, very stylized packaging. It's got that classic black, and it's got the blue that represents NASA. And this set is no different, even though it is very retro looking. I still love it. It's got the space shuttle in the lower right corner here with the rocket boosters and the stack and all that. And then it's got the space station here. I believe that's a Russian space station, or the early concept International Space Station. I think that's what it was back in the days. Especially this playset was released back in the late 1990s. So maybe that's what it is. And of course, we got a little astronaut floating up there. So we got a little Earth. Got the space shuttle flying above it. The Hubble Space Telescope. So without further ado, guys, let's crack right into the box and let's take a closer look and see what we got inside. So we got all the space toys out of the packaging now, guys. So as always, let's just take a good look at one of the toys one at a time. So we're gonna take a look at the main highlight of this set, which is the 747 with the space shuttle on piggyback. This is actually a very nice piece. Love the 747 from Realtoy. This is actually a very nice, beautiful airplane. Very solid metal. Die-cast with solid plastic material built into it, and I love the way that Realtoy has put so much effort and quality into their Realtoy airplanes. This is actually pretty cool stuff here, guys. So that's actually a very nice airplane here, representation of a 747-400, but we all know in real life the NASA used a 747-100 or a 200 series to piggyback the space shuttle, because it didn't have the winglets here in the end. But nonetheless, Realtoy only had the 400 series mold, so that's why they decided to use this one for the piggyback, for the space shuttle piggyback. But that's okay. It actually looks very nice. It's like sort of a what if. It's like, what if NASA used a 747-400 as a replacement for their 200 series? That's actually pretty cool. So without further ado, let's just take a closer look at the 747 itself. Starting from the front, it's actually a very nice detail. This is actually a print. The cockpit canopy is a nice print there, right there at the front. And then working our way down, we've got nice windows there as well. We've got 4 windows at the top deck here, and then the rest of them that runs down the middle of the airplane with this blue stripe. We got some doors as well. Now I noticed these are all stickers. They're not a print, but the stickers actually held up very good after 30 years. They're in very good condition, by the way. That's awesome. No serial number though on the back, like the real actual 747 will have from the NASA version. And then working our way down to the vertical stab. Unfortunately, the paint is gone way off here. It's bubbled up after 30 years due to humidity, you know, environmental factor issues here. So that is actually very poor, but not too bad though. But the sticker that's on top of it is actually okay. At least that hasn't peeled off or anything like that, but that's fine. That's actually pretty good. Nonetheless, I still love the NASA 905 there with the American flag on top of it. That's actually pretty good. But the rest of it is actually very nice. The paint job for the wings is in relatively good condition. As for the belly section here, we got the Realtoy logo. Yeah, we got the Realtoy logo down over here, right in the middle. That says made in China. We've got the 4 wheels here as well. Our typical Realtoy style landing gears, especially the forward one here, which doesn't roll. This is a fixed gear, by the way. That's so cool. Got some pretty good details here and there, especially for the elevators and the ailerons and whatnot. And I love especially they added these little strut pieces here, which is made of die-cast metal to support the space shuttle in place. This is actually a specialized tool only for this particular 747-400. That is super cool, guys. So we're going to put that down there. And now let's check out the Space Shuttle Discovery. This is a very nice little space shuttle. This is a 1.5 inch long space shuttle, which is a very nice piece, all die-cast metal. Only the bottom of the wing here, the black part of the heat shield area, is made of plastic. And the rocket nozzles at the back here, the rocket thrusters, they're also made of plastic. And a good amount of weight to it as well. And the cockpit canopy at the front here is just a simple print. Unfortunately, on mine, I've got a slight scuffing at the top over here, which can be fixed by just adding a little black paint just to cover all that up. And then we got some nice rocket RCS thruster details at the front here, which is molded into the metal. And we got the little door there as well, the little hatch for the astronauts to enter. And then we got 3 little bars down here. One is thicker on the front and it slowly gets thinner as it goes through the back. We got the United States logo at the back there. We got the American flag, our classic NASA worm logo. Sorry, the meatball logo. Yeah, that's the meatball logo. RCS thrusters molded in there as well. We got slightly off-white paint for the rudder detail here. That's cool. Same thing over here as well. Same detail. We got a nice Discovery print. That's so cool, guys. This is a very nice little space shuttle. And I love the way that Realtoy actually made these little toys. These are actually very nice, by the way, even though they're not so detailed, but they're okay if you can accept the little discrepancies here and there. So now let's just put the space shuttle back onto the 747. Now it's a snug fit. It's not a very tight, like tight little fit there, but it fits straight in very nicely. This is actually a very nice toy, guys. Awesome. Glad to have this in my collection. And now moving on to the next spaceship, let's take a closer look at this command and service module. This is the Apollo command and service module. It's a little spacecraft that went to the moon back in the late 1960s. This is actually pretty nice. Love it. But it's not die-cast metal, unfortunately. It's all plastic, but it's got a fairly good amount of detail to it. I love the United States print there with the American flag on the command module. And on the service module, we got the American flag here, United States, the classic NASA worm logo, and we got gold color painted RCS thrusters on all sides, and we got some white paint applications here on the panels. And that is the forward adapter, I believe. That's a little adapter piece that fits into the lunar module, which is the little moon lander that goes onto the moon. And on the back here, we've got 4 antennas, which on the actual spacecraft, they also have this little 4 antennas. This is actually painted in blue plastic with silver painted for the strut. And we got a black color painted for the rocket nozzle, the rocket thrusters at the back here. That's so cool. That's a very nice touch. All right, now moving on to the next Apollo spacecraft. This is the lunar module or the moon lander. This one comes in two separate stages, the ascent stage and the descent stage. But on this toy, they don't separate like they do in real life. But nonetheless, this is actually a very small, it's only about 1 inch tall and roughly 1.5 inches wide from the legs. But that's actually pretty good. I love the color on this one. It's actually got some weight to this one. Now this one has got die cast. The top part here is die cast. The bottom part here is plastic. And the legs, the landing legs, are solid plastic, almost like rubbery, but they're pretty solid though. Nicely painted in this sort of a dark gold color. Then the lower part and then the back, this interior part here is painted in this nice shiny gold. For the golden foil, that's supposed to simulate foil. We got the United States printed there. We got the American flag as well. And that's about it. There's not much to it. That is so nice, guys. The top part here is painted silver. Got some gold paint and some red paint applications for the little antenna pieces. Black for the hatch, though the windows are not painted in. But that's okay. And there's your little rocket motor at the bottom here. That is so cool. All right. And this top part, the docking port here, actually fits with this. You can actually connect the command module to the lunar module, just like that. Voila. And there it is. Let's just clear the screen up. There you go. So there it is. You fully connected spacecraft, just like they did in real life. When it's going to the moon, these two separate spacecrafts will be connected all the way on a 4-day journey to the moon until this section here separates from the command module and it lands on the moon. And then when the mission's done in the next couple of days or so, this part here will lift off and reconnect back to the command module. And after that, back to Earth. And then up next, we've got a third Apollo spacecraft, and this is the command module itself after the journey from the moon is completed. This is the part, only the command module, by the way, this is the part after it has re-entered the Earth's atmosphere. And when it lands in the ocean, after it touched down with 3 chutes up, this dinghy, this sort of orange flotation device, will pop right out of the command module to keep this floating above the water in the Pacific. And then these 3 balls here, these are the actual parachutes themselves, I believe. And then we've got the adapter piece here. Yep, that's the adapter which connects to the lunar module. And this command module piece here is actually made out of die-cast metal. That's a very nice touch. At least that's a nice piece of die-cast. And it's got some pretty good weight to it as well. Got the American flag there. We've got a couple of painted windows, which is a very nice touch. At least they didn't paint just black. At least they added a little blue there for the window frame. And then we got NASA, worm logo there. Got a couple of black dots, some red dots here, a couple more black dots here. That's the that's the hatch. That's the main hatch where the crew members enters and exits. And there's from the front, forward view. That's actually pretty cool, guys. But in real life, this part here will be all scorched. It'll be completely discolored, and due to the heat of re-entry, this will all be burned up. But in this real toy, they represented it in this white, nicely painted white. Of course, I mean it's not too bad though. This is actually a very, very nice piece, and you can actually put this in the water and you can make it float, which I believe it could float. And up next, we've got our little astronaut figures as well. Kind of reminds me of NASA, kind of reminds me of the Apollo astronauts, but actually these aren't Apollo astronauts. These are just, maybe a couple of these are maybe Apollo astronauts, but this one is definitely not an Apollo astronaut. This one is a space shuttle astronaut because he's got the EV suit. He's got this extravehicular activity suit, okay, which is sort of a jet thruster pack. It's got a little gas can in the back here, oxygen tank, I think. It's got some pretty good amount of detail here. Now these 3 astronaut figures are hand painted, and these are not like molded and then print painted, like pad printed from a machine, but these are completely 100% hand painted by an individual in the factory. Actually pretty cool. Love the painted details on this one. So awesome, guys. This is so cool. Really, really awesome. Love the details on these guys. And now up next to the final vehicle here in this range, we've got this NASA camera van, or the communication centers van. It's actually pretty nice. It's a very heavy piece here. All this is metal, die-cast metal for the body, and then plastic chassis for the bottom. Cool. Silver painted hubcaps. Got a nice print on this one. Very cool. NASA meatball logo there. Got the United States Communication Center here. Nicely printed United States flag there. And we got a dark blue tinted windows, even the front of the windscreen. We got a NASA worm logo at the front here for the hood. That's nicely done. And the top part here can actually rotate. This is the camera with a small molded individual there, probably a camera crew, a NASA camera crew, sitting right there in the little seat there, manning his camera, you know, churning about and watching the launch from the distance, you know, whether it's a Saturn V or maybe a space shuttle lifting off. I mean, this is what the guy will be doing. Cool. And we got a little antenna here at the front, a little plastic antenna with a small little plastic radio antenna here. But that's about it, really. This is the only part of the toy that actually rotates. That is so awesome, guys. Nice silver part for the roof here. Oh, there's the back door. Got some nice painted details there. That is a very nice little detail there, guys. Awesome little fan. And then up next, all we have now is some little accessories. Now this is a little asteroid or meteorite accessory. Love the little dotted little craters in there. This is sort of painted in a sort of a goldish, off gold color. All right, and then we've got a couple of satellites here as well. And each of the satellite have a moving part. The solar panels can actually rotate. Yeah, this one actually rotates. Yeah, it's got rotating solar panels on this one. This is more of a squarish looking one. And then this one looks longer with a triangular part at the top. As you can see, it kind of looks like a Hubble Space Telescope, but it's not. All right, so there you go. And then a couple more accessories. Last one, we got the stop sign, stop, Space Center. This is the same thing like we get with all our airport Daron playsets. We got the little stop with the exclamation point there, but this one is not too bad. It's the least interesting accessory here in this range. And then we have the main signpost, which is Mission Control Center, ready, launch. And that's the inside of Mission Control, which is in modern day Mission Control, of course. And looks like we got a little space shuttle on the screen there. Not sure you guys can see that. There you go. There's a little space shuttle that's actually looking from the inside of the bay doors, so we can see the astronauts doing their thing, like fixing a satellite in orbit. And these are all the Capcoms, you know, the flight directors, and so on. And they're all manning their station and keeping their eyes on the controls. Last but not least, guys, I have this little lunar rover vehicle, also from Realtoy. I had this for a few years now. I bought this loose. It came broken in several pieces and I had to glue them back and touched up some paint on it, so at least it looks better than new. And it's actually not too bad. This is actually a very nice addition to this collection, which I have right now. It actually completes my Apollo spacecraft collection. At least I got the command module, service module, and the lunar module. So at least this one will go together. Even though it's a little too big, it's not to scale, but not too bad. At least it's perfect. And this is actually a very nice little piece. It's very heavy. It's got a lot of die cast though in this one. Lots of die cast in this one, by the way, guys. The base part is all die cast, including that orange part there. So this is it, guys. that's the end of today's video. Hope you liked today's video, guys. And if you guys have this collection, please do let me know down in the comments. I would like to hear from you guys, like to see what you guys say about this set. And like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, please give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.